Hi everyone. This is my birth story, and it is a bit icky. So if you are too young or you find things to do with poop and mucus and birth and things disgusting, please don't watch this. It's not your channel. It's not for you. Okay, let's get started. 10th of August 2019. Excuse me, is when I went into labour, but it was classed as slow labour, so it wasn't established labour yet. It was about 8:30 when I was getting enough pain and close enough together to know it was definitely labour. So I rang an ambulance, and I started to panic because the woman on the phone, the emergency person, what's it called? The operator, who obviously is reading from a script or something, kept saying, right, let me help you give birth if you give birth. I was like, what? What do you mean? Oh, people give birth sometimes spontaneously. I was like, oh God. So she's getting me then to lie on the floor in the kitchen on a blanket until the ambulance comes. Excuse me, I've got to itch my nose. So as you can appreciate, this is live, so at least that's why you can see that it's happening the way it is. Oh, try not to get boobing. I'm expressing milk, you see. So anyway, it was about 8:30 at night, and I rang an ambulance, and they didn't come till about 9:30, and the woman was talking to me the whole time. I had a little bit of waters go at the front, the 4 waters. And then the ambulance come. I got in the ambulance. We were met by a midwife, which she drove to Oakley Arms, which is a few miles away. And then she got in the ambulance because she followed with her car. And then she was in the ambulance and keeping an eye on me, basically. And by this point, the contractions were about anything from 3 to 4 minutes apart. So I got to the hospital about 9:30. No, sorry, took just over an hour to get there, because it was from where I am now to about 40 miles away in Bangor in Wales, Gwynedd. So it took about an hour. So I got there about 10:30. She checked me, checked my cervix, and I was 2 to 3 centimetres. So I wasn't really in proper labour yet. But then as soon as I got there, she informed me that someone had written over my notes where it said midwife-led birth. My actual midwife at the local surgery, had written over my notes, even though it had been confirmed that I could have a water birth in the hospital, in the midwife-led unit. She'd written over it, hospital birth. So it looked like the doctor had done it. So this kind of changed things now, and I'm really... So then the midwife said, no, you've got to have it here. We have got a water pool, as you can see, a birthing pool, but you're not far enough in labour to use it. But pretty much, I've got to say, I don't know if it's just these particular people or what, but she went out the room after examining me, after suggesting that, oh, in 24 hours we might have to break your waters, we might have to put a drip in, we might have to do this, we might have to do that. And I was like, no, you're not doing that, you're not doing that, you're not doing that. I was told we could have a midwife-led, be in the midwife-led unit and have a birth pool, the birthing pool. So I blank said, no, I'm not doing it. So she kind of buggered off. And then a different midwife come in. She didn't examine me, she just asked me questions. But every time a midwife come in, it was a different one. Every single time. Nobody examined me. They just came in when I was in the middle of a contraction, said blah, 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 because I don't know what they were saying, because obviously I was busy. And they buggered off again. About 10 different midwives throughout the night. And it got to about 4 in the morning. And then the midwife came back in, and I said to her, look, I can't cope. I can't do this. I need something stronger than gas and air. So she says, right, I'll go out and I'll get you something. And right then, my waters broke, like proper full on broke. The rest came out. Soaked the bed. But I was in that much pain that I couldn't really move. I couldn't nudge and move out the way and stuff. So the midwife took my disposable pants off and changed the bed. And then I got off the bed. And then she went to get clean covers, come back. And then she said, she'll go and get me some pain relief. And she said, right, walk around and get things going. By this point, bear in mind, it's about 4 o'clock the next morning. I walked around the bed to where my husband was, literally that quick. And I felt a really bad pressure in my back end. Oh, and because I've been constipated really bad, it was painful. I mean, it was extremely painful. My husband passed me one of, the polystyrene sick bowls. Oh, by the way, my husband isn't on the video because he doesn't want to be on it. He said it's embarrassing, which, fair enough. He passed me one of them sick bowls and I managed to catch what happened. And then it started to happen again. So I grabbed the bowl again and the first lot fell on the floor. Oh my God. It was really embarrassing because my husband's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. So I'm not doing it on purpose. I can't do anything about it. And if I don't push past it, it won't go away, the pain. So, yeah, I pooped myself a couple of times. I think it's the first and only time I've ever done it though. But I was standing up. The first lot fell on the floor, but luckily on a poopy mat. The second lot I managed to catch and I put it on top of one of them cupboards at the side of the bed. And then I felt a really bad pressure and I put my hand down there and his head was there. I was like, oh damn. I said to my husband, his head's there? And he went, no, you're having a shit. I was like, no, his head's there. And he went, well, I can't do anything unless you get on the bed. So then I lift myself up and get on the bed. And he presses the button that looks like a nurse. I says, no good pressing that. Press the emergency button. The baby's coming out. Yeah, and he's got his hand on the baby, bear in mind, on the baby's head that is coming out. And he's guiding it out. He presses the red button, which is like a triangle shape, I believe, but with a circle around it. And about 5 midwives come rushing in. And then, which I thought was a bit peculiar, one of the ladies took over from my husband. My husband buggered off because he had to wash his hands. He said they're really slimy, which made me laugh. And then for some reason she put her finger up my bottom. And I was like, what the hell? She said, don't worry, it's just the baby's head. Come on. You've got to push past it. I was like, no, it's not. It's bloody not. She said, come on, push past it. But in hindsight, I've spoke to people that live in the local area. If you've got an issue and you've had piles, they do that to stop you prolapsing or pushing your bowel out, which I can understand now. But at the time, when somebody's got their finger up your bottom, you're like, what the hell? I'm in enough pain without you doing that. It's no fun, that isn't. That just takes the mick. Well, anyway, it's nothing like I'd ever felt before. My first pregnancy was an epidural because of twins. I pushed one out, the other one was pulled out legs first, and I barely felt pressure down there or anything like that. My second labour, which was with my daughter, was an induction, and they put the drip in, so it was quick. It was 2.5 hours, and I felt pressure down there and that, but it wasn't full on as bad as that. And then with my other son, who's 17 months, it was 7 hours. But again, it wasn't as bad. But then it wouldn't be, I suppose, because my third pregnancy with my son, full on pregnancy, to birth, he was only £7. But this little man, I say little, was 9'4". So because of that, he was huge. His head was 37 centimetres, in circumference. Excuse me, I've got to get hair off my face. and it really hurt. It was extremely painful. It felt like I was being ripped open front to back. I literally thought, damn, there's no coming back from this. I bet I'm ripped all the way through. But I barely had a tear. I did tear slightly inside, but it was barely anything, you know. And I lost some trail of thought, you know, sleep deprived, blonde. Yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah, anyway, I was pushing, and I had to push quite hard because he was kind of stuck a little bit. So I pushed really hard, and then it was that kind of pain where you're like, damn, you know, like if you've got a slight cut down there and you start to wee and you go, oh, and try and stop yourself from weeing. It was that kind of feeling where you think, damn, I can't do that. Ow, 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 you know, kind of thing. It feels like you're literally being cut in half. But I had to push past it. And then his shoulders, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. And he was sunny side up. So he was facing the wrong way anyway. So it was even more painful. And it was weird because his cord had these little round things in that looked like meatballs, but tiny. It was very peculiar. But his cord wasn't very long. It was about a metre, I would say. It was very peculiar. But anyway, that's about it really. And he as I say, weighed 9'4". He had, hold on, which eye was it? His right eye, which would be left if you're looking at him. He had a circle of red all around his eye, and the midwife said it's the trauma of the birth. It's caused like a blood vessel to be kind of burst all the way around, really. And yeah, he had like a ring of fire almost around his eye because of obviously because of that. And he wasn't crying when he came out. They kind of had to rub him for quite a while and do things to him. They didn't take him off the bed by any means, but he was kind of like, you know, in that much shock that what had happened. He was like, you know. But yeah, he's happy now. He's now over 11 pound. Last time he was weighed, which was last week, he was 11.9, and that was at 4 weeks. He's now 5 weeks, and he's been putting on an average of £1 a week. So he'd be about 12.9 now because he's 5 weeks and a bit. I'll do another video shortly because I'm expressing at the moment, so it'll make it hard while I'm holding my phone and expressing and stuff like that to physically do another video to show you. But I'll show you him while he's still asleep, if he's asleep. Or if he's awake, you know, I'll show you him. He's a real chunky monkey, he really is. He's got dark hair as well, and at the moment it's like a dark grey or dark green eyes. They're not really blue like Elvis is, my older one. He's got blonde hair like this colour, and blue eyes, bright blue eyes. And this one's, as I say, it's either got dark grey or dark green at the moment, but excuse me, I know they can change either green or blue properly. So yes, ladies and gents and kiddies, if you're watching, but hopefully you're being sensible and you're not too young and watching inappropriate stuff. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.